This week it's Heather Small, but before we go actually to the papers, Heather, I know you're going to be singing for us, so
right.
you have a good solo career now, but you've turned to a bit of gospel music this time.
Well, yeah, but not in the traditional sense. I think that it does look at faith. There are definitely 2 or 3 songs on the album. One in particular talks about finding your way and the belief in God, and how faith can help you. And anybody who knows me knows that I don't take it lightly, because I don't like to be told what to do, and I'm very wary. So putting my trust in something that I can't see is a real big deal for me. But I do believe in God.
Did you have a very strict upbringing within your family household?
Not at all, not at all. We did go to Sunday school, you know, and my mother came from a very religious background, but we were left to make up our own minds, and it was presented to us, and I thought, yes, definitely there is a God.
Yeah, you used the word miracle in your album title, so what's that song about? And you're going to be singing it later.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, in day-to-day life, you think, how is it all going to work out? And you need something extraordinary to happen, and you think to yourself, it's never going to happen. And sometimes, you know, the extraordinary does, and you think there's little miracles happening every day.
So you're talking about faith and holding on to that dream, I guess.
That's right, and making it worthwhile to get up every morning.
Yeah. Actually, in terms of sport, you're a real icon these days, because your track, what's it was called?
Proud.
Proud, that's right. Very good time. That, of course, is part of the Olympic bid.
That's right, that's right.
So that was a very positive streak as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. But the thing with the song, it's been taken up by so many different people. I think that's what I find, that it's unifying. And so that's made me happy.
Well done, the Olympic bid. That was very good to be included in that. Now the papers. You've been keeping an eye on things this week.
Yes.
So you've chosen out this one, Female Chauvinist Pigs. So
yeah.
Let's go on that.
It's a book written by a lady called Andrea Levy, and she's saying that now for women it seems that we've embraced this big-lipped, big everything, big busted culture, and that now we're taking on what would be seen as male values for women. And have we really made any progress as females? You know, are we not reverting back to now old stereotypes, not only reverting back to them but embracing them?
Yeah, but it used to be that men would put that stamp on it perhaps, but now women are putting that stamp on themselves. I mean, do you think it's because of, say, the Jordans of this world? They see that young girls will see, well, if you put forward that image, you make a load of dosh and you get fame and notoriety,
yeah, I think
everything that goes along with it.
We're just bombarded with that image, so young girls think that's the only way to go, and that your only option is to be the most sexiest, you know, and to live up, what I think, down to those kind of images. And they say that we don't need feminism because we've won. Well, there's how many women are in government, you know, how are we represented there?
So where's the force of opinion in this book ending up, and what's her conclusion?
That we definitely have a way to go.
OK, a long way to go, right. Of course, you can't escape World Cup, and good luck to England this afternoon when they play.
Yes,
but this image, of course, of Wayne Rooney, with this paint, you know, well, I think most people took it as the World Cup flag, but it all looks like blood. So
it's very emotive, and I think, depending on your perspective, when I first saw it, growing up in the 70s as a child and being told to go home, and then with him roaring, it made me think of the racial tension. And then some people, like you said, their faith and belief, Christians, they see it as blasphemous. And if my son saw it, he'd think it's just Rooney, who's a World Cup player for England, dressed in the English flag. So I think that there's a correlation with war, and I think they say that that's insensitive, and
there's quite an outcry about it this week, though.
Definitely, definitely.
Quite a lot of people said it was, you know, emulating the crucifix and the blood, and etc., rather than a good image of Wayne Rooney.
And although I say it's just an image, you know, and obviously the admins have done their work, but for me personally, you know, it has nothing to do with Christianity.
Talking about image, this is quite an amazing story. This vicar on the Isle of Man,
oh, yes.
Who has a great number of parishioners, and it's bizarre because he went off to Africa, didn't he?
That's right. He himself is South African. He set up his own church in the Isle of Man, so you'd think to yourself he appeared to be a good man, but it would seem that he brought in some workers illegally, and as the word here says, paid them slave wages to build his house. And I think
so he brought them in illegally just to work cheaply on his house.
Yeah, but said that he was going to be instructing them on faith and business studies. And it worries me because with him being South African and setting up his own church, that there's a certain mindset that he learnt in South Africa, and it hasn't left him, even though he's embraced the church, so he says, and its values. You know, you can't...
Did you object to the word slave being used?
Very, very, very much, and I thought maybe that was his mindset, that those people were there to be used and abused, obviously.
And on slave, it's got links to the next story, actually, because this man from Cornwall, actually, who chained himself and apologised because of his ancestors. That's
right. We have here a guy called Andrew Hawkins, ancestor of John Hawkins, who went to the Gambia to apologise for the atrocities of slavery. And when I see this picture here and the way that it's written up, it makes the whole thing seem quite farcical, but slavery was no joke. And 2007 is the official 200 years abolition of slavery, and I think that it's time for maybe an acknowledgement of the atrocities in a serious and sensitive way to give back those people their humanity, really. So what you're saying, the apology is okay, this was just a rather gimmicky way of doing it? That's right. Yeah. Now, I'm going to jump to Chop of the Pops, because this is something that I was a bit sad when I saw that it was being chopped. But yeah, you and me both. I think you have to be of a certain age, though, to feel the sadness, because do you remember your first time? Oh, I was so nervous, and I really enjoyed it. And I remember as a child just watching TV with my sister and my mother. We'd never miss an episode. But my 14-year-old niece now, you know, it doesn't hold the same kind of pull for her whatsoever. Guess what? I have that first appearance, because I know it meant a lot to you. Here it is. How exciting was it? Very exciting. That was very sneaky, I have to say. I wasn't expecting that. But like I say, now it's Chop of the Pops. It's no longer Top of the Pops, but Top of the Pods. That's how my niece listens to music. You know, it's all about Was downloads. All your family tuned in that night, watching, waiting? Yes, it was very, very exciting. Like I said, it will be sad to see it go. Yeah, but there you go, as you say, an era of all the technologies outdated that. Heather, thank you very much. I know you're going to get ready, because you're not done with us just yet. We're making your work today. And we'll see you later on. Thanks for the moment.